Welcome back, fellow scrubs. I'm here, we're live, and working on Pack Fighter EX today. So Pack Fighter EX is a community-based game. What track thing working today? Yeah, it looks like it's working. Alright, I think we're alright. Most of the time I forget to put the track labels on, so then I have to fix it. But anyway, Pack Fighter EX is a community-based game. It's not affiliated with Capcom or SNK. It's a free fan game. Available on Game Jolt and by the fans, for the fans, etc., etc. So, alright, let us get into it. So, we're going to focus on, like we have been for the last few weeks, of preparing the game for GGPO Online, and that's been a very big ongoing process for the past, what, year and a half now? It's been a lot of work, so. Hey, so I fixed a whole bunch of stuff in the meantime. Well, that's not good.
I think it was tension. Nothing was up there and it just fell out of the dish drain.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking right at it. It was a plate. It looked like it broke. I think it's, I don't know.
That's fine. Obviously, I can't help with it right now. All right. Let's see. Well, in the meantime, you gotta clean that up. Yeah, I guess so. Oh wait, hold on. There's no sound on the thing here. There we go. Oh, it's pretty low. You know what? I think what I did. Oh, you know what? You probably hear the game's probably playing music too. I was testing the audio. Yeah, it's not mute. Here. And then... yeah, I guess that's alright. Yeah, I was testing the audio because, the round intros and stuff, I had to reprogram all of that. I don't know, did I do that in the last week, or have I done that prior? Well, either way, whatever the case is, oh yeah, some of the animations are stuck now. Oh yeah, we have to fix that. I want to look at that first, once we get over the changes here. Oh, I fixed the, where the white box there is the proximity guard. So if I set him to guard everything, see how he guards before the impact? For a while now it's been broken, where it would, once it appeared, it never went away in the animation. So you would have proximity guards throughout the entire animation, and of course that's not good, because that actually impacts the gameplay. Because you cannot walk back without walking, so you could never walk back as long as that flinch box was connecting with you. Obviously if it's not connecting with you, it's not a big deal, but so that was actually really bad. But the fix I ended up finding it. I had it in my bug list, which I finally made. If you haven't seen my beautiful, wonderful bug list, I've had it in here for months. Yeah, the list. It's growing. It's not getting shorter. Actually, no, it's not true. It's actually probably gotten shorter. Because I've been really hitting it hard. But it's been in my bug list for months. And I just happened to notice, I was just going through the code making other changes for GGPO stuff, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, that's why that doesn't work. Like, it's pretty obvious when I looked at it. But I don't know why I made that change. I made some kind of change that broke it, essentially. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know why it's like this. There's no reason for it to be like this. And that's obviously what's causing the glitch, but hey, whatever, it's fixed now, I'm fine. I'm fine with that, that works. So that's fixed. I changed all of Terry's push boxes, some people call them. In the code I call it a body space, because it's the space occupied by the character's body here. Like where it pushes them around and stuff. The orange, or not orange, the purple ones there. So I hadn't adjusted all his animations. At one point I made a decision to change the size of those boxes for all the characters. You see that they're pretty much uniform. And some animations are shared, you know, or some hitbox files, I guess, that are tied to animations are shared. So those ones were easy to fix because it fixed for everybody at once. But when Terry did an attack, it would actually use the old box size, which were too tall. Every dang element has to be rolled back. Yeah, that's true, right? I feel like I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way through of doing that. So what the biggest part that that needs to happen next is to get all the objects hooked into the saving and loading state. So save state and load state. And that's the majority of the work, I think. It's not gonna necessarily take a long time. It's just gonna be really difficult to put all that in, but I think that's the majority of the work. I would say that. Well, okay, so we're probably what, a quarter of the way through? I would say that at least 50% of the work is going to be that, and then the remaining percent is going to be the actual networking in order to like get GGPO hooked in and like hooked into an internet thing. So like, GGPO itself doesn't control the internet portion of it. It's kind of like a middleman. It only controls the game flow. So here, let me try to think of how to explain this. I don't feel like opening a sprite because it's not already open and it takes a million years to open. Actually, while we're doing this explanation, we can load a sprite in the background. Oh no, it went super quick. Because Steam failed to update or something? Okay, whatever, that's fine. Alright, we'll do it this way. I like visuals. Visuals good. So you've got, like, the game down here. Oh, that's not the brush. No, Z. B. 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 B for brush. There we go. Are we good now? Yes? Why can't I see it? What did I do? Why is it like that? Hold on. Wait, what's wrong? What is it doing? Back? Yeah, back? Here? Yes? Yes? Okay. We're good now. Okay, so like the majority of your code is like in the game itself, right? And this is your game. And GGPO kind of like sits on top of that, and it acts like the controlling part of it. Only when you're playing online. And then on top of that, you have the network. So that's like communicating to the other player. You know what? I'm gonna make this like 2 different stacks here because they're gonna be one for one player and one for the other. Damn it, will you get in the middle? Hold on. Yes, 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 okay. Ah, shit, hold on. Undo that. I have to reselect it here so I don't get the giant gray border on the other side. Okay, so how this works, I'm going to say this is player 1 and player 2. The GGPO doesn't communicate directly back and forth between the two players. My brain can't handle. I just fix networks and computers. Well, yeah, this might make sense if you're familiar with like network technology. This might make sense. Where GGPO is kind of almost like your local router, and then you go to the net, and that's kind of like your modem to the outside world. So GGPO will tell the game what to do, It typically won't take much information from the game other than like your inputs. So there is a back and forth here. And then it communicates directly with that. And then GGPO communicates with the network module, or whatever you want to call it. So there is an in and out for that too. But the game never has to directly connect with the network. At least not for the GGPO section. You might want to do it for like when you're selecting characters, or when you're in a lobby or something like that. Then the game might actually directly communicate with the network, but as far as GGPO is concerned, it's kind of in this layered system. So here, let me draw the lines here too. So what happens when the game sends inputs to GGPO? GGPO says, hey, network, you need to send inputs to the other player. And so it does, and then the inputs come into GGPO, and then the inputs come into the game. And then the game generates inputs for player 2, sends a GGPO, which sends to the network, and says, hey, you need to send this to the other player, so it sends it to the other player, comes into the other GGPO side, and then the GGPO commands the game, hey, here's your inputs for the other player, and so on and so forth. And that's the basic idea here. Let me shrink this down. There, now we can see the whole thing, I think. Almost. Excuse me. I'm choking on my own spit here, so, you know, as embarrassing as that is, I've been coughing a lot. Poke Aaron, or Pokeron? Hello. Welcome to the show. So that's kind of how it works. So the game never directly communicates with the internet. Everything goes through GGPO. And the other important thing with GGPO is it tells the game when to update, how many times to update, whether or not it needs to save and load state. All of that is handled here, locally. And then GGPO itself does not contain the internet programming. So it kind of interfaces in a way. You have to do that too. Like, it doesn't do it on its own. You have to make that connection between the internet module and GGPO, and then it sends it back and forth. The base GGPO might have a Windows-based internet module, but if you're gonna have it platform independent, you do have to separate that. So, and that's what we're doing. We're basically porting GGPO to C#, and then making it network agnostic, essentially. And then so we can have these interchangeable parts with that. And if you're going to use GGPO, you're going to run into that problem where it's really only designed to work on Windows. So you're going to have to, and only designed to work, I think it's coded in C, so it should work C++. You can make wrappers, if you know what that means. That's getting into the weeds for programming. Like, that's the that's the nerd end of that spectrum. You can make a wrapper, or you can just take the code and port it over to something else. But it definitely takes a different, I don't know how to put it. You got to put some work into it in order to do it. In many ways, GGPO itself as a piece of programming, as a piece of code, is almost more like an example to follow in a way. It's I wouldn't say that's like a prototype, because obviously it's tested and it works, but it's not platform independent, if that makes sense. So it's like, hey, if you make a Unity game, Unity uses C#, okay, and it, you know, Unity can go, yeah, it's code logic, sort of. I would just say the programming itself, like the actual code itself, wouldn't say the logic's fine. That would be kind of a different thing. When you talk about code logic, you're more so talking about the concepts behind it, but not the actual programming itself, whether it's Java or C# or C++ or whatever. That doesn't, the code logic is kind of agnostic from that. The code logic is, we need to do this is how we accomplish this, and these are the steps to follow. But then you implement those steps and those concepts using one of those programming languages. So I would say, like, literally the programming itself, like the actual typed out words and letters and all that stuff, numbers, whatever, you know what I mean. The actual text that creates the source code. Like I said, it's like locked to Windows only, and it's, you know, if you need to, I mean, you can use the DLL in other languages, but you're going to have to find ways to connect it into it. So it's a little rough when you're working with it. It's not like a platform independent, multi-language, polished piece of programming. It's there. It is what it is. And it's up to you to utilize it in other ways. So that's why a lot of people have been porting it to other platforms. They've been taking it from C and turning, like, somebody made a Unity plugin. I want to port it myself so that I better understand the inner workings of it. So I probably won't be using someone else's Unity plugin. But you can take the code, as long as you understand what's going on, you take the code and you can port it to kind of any language. Like, it is what it is. There's no... That's why I always say in programming, the main thing to learn is logic. Don't worry about syntax and all this other stuff, because you're going to change syntax all the time. If you change between C and C#, or C++ and C#, they're sort of similar. But there's also a lot of differences in the syntax, but what doesn't change is the concepts that underlay behind that. So knowing how to determine things with your if statements and stuff like that, the logic, the flow behind all the programming, like the concept behind it, like that doesn't really change. That's the most important thing to develop as a programmer. Is you could just learn another language. Once you learn one language, you can interchange that with almost any language at that point. Like it's super easy to just switch between them. It takes some learning for sure, but you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, it's basically the same thing. You're just using different words instead of like in C++, a vector is essentially the same thing conceptually as a list in C#. You know, stuff like that. Like, okay, I know that in C#, if I want to use a vector, because I learned in C++, that just means I have to use a list, and it operates basically the same. So that, you know, that's where the concepts underneath are more important. I don't care whether it's called a vector or a list or whatever. I just need a collection of objects that I can remove and add to, and that's not an array. Because once you make an array, the array stays the way it is. But a list is like a changeable array. You know, and that's the concept behind the scenes. I want an array that I can change, remove, insert, and all that, and reorder things. So that, hopefully that makes sense. I know that's getting into the real nerd territory, but it's an important thing to think about if you want to be a programmer. Okay, so chat says, so GGPO just tells you what needs to be done, but every engine achieves that differently. Yes, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm getting at. That GGPO just sends commands to the game, and it's like, hey, I need you to load state for like frame 400, and then I need you to update 3 times. You know, things like that. And that's kind of how you do rollbacks. You say, okay, we're on frame, let's say we're on frame 500, and we need to roll back like 4 frames, right? So, what's that? That's frame, would be frame 496, right? You go from 500, say your game is on 500, and it's like, hey, go back to frame 496, and I want you to update 4 times. And that brings you back to frame 500. And then GGPO, again, at the end, will tell you to update 1 more time so that the game actually progresses a frame. You know, that's what it does. It doesn't handle anything in your game. It just commands it to do certain things based on its communication with the other players through the internet. Is that part of the reason as to why implementing rollback is so hard? Sort of. Yeah, I would say that a lot of people seem to have the misconception that you just plug in GGPO into your game, and then all of a sudden it magically does everything that rollback netcodes needs, but that's not true. GGPO will command your game to do the things that rollback needs, but your game has to be able to actually roll back, you know, inside of itself. GGPO doesn't grant that magic ability to do that. It doesn't keep track of anything for the most part. Outside of itself. Like, it'll ask you for a save state. I mean, in an emulator sense, that made sense, and that's what it was originally designed to be, for emulating. So like, GGPO will ask you for a state, you know, like a block of data that's like, hey, give me that save state so I can give it back to you later. I'm probably going to circumvent that part and keep the save state purely in the engine. I mean, that part doesn't matter. Again, getting kind of into the weeds there, but yeah, like, your game needs to be deterministic. It needs to save and load state. It needs to do all that, and GGPO does not do that for you. You have to do that so that GGPO can come in and tell you when you need to do it. So it's a very small piece of programming, you know, relative to the game, if that makes sense. No, I wouldn't say that putting it in the 3D fighters is more expensive. I would say the problem usually comes in when your game is not designed to save and load state, when your game is not designed to update multiple times a frame. Making those kind of changes after the fact can be devastating to both the game design, you know, the programming design behind the scenes, and also devastating to like your performance and all this other stuff. So if you design the game to only update once per frame, and then all of a sudden, and you put in the nice pretty graphics, you put in all this stuff. Let's say console, for a console game, like PCs are expandable, they can become more powerful. But say you built it with a certain design in mind, with a certain art style and all this stuff, and you're running the hardware, the PlayStation 4, 5, whatever it is that you're running it on, you're running it kind of almost to being full, right? Like, you wouldn't want to make a game, especially like a AAA level game, you wouldn't just not utilize the console's hardware power, right? Like, you would want to shove as much shit in there as possible until the console couldn't take it anymore. You know what I mean? So there's more when you go into the project with that mentality. You've used up all your console resources just playing the game normally. So now you have to go back to the drawing board and say, well, okay, you know, were we sloppy? Could we clean up some stuff to make some room here? Because you went from running the game once per frame to potentially running it up to 7, 8, 9, 10 times per frame. That doesn't come out of thin air. You know, there's no magic button for that you can just press and it happens. Like, you have to make the game efficient. You either have to cut something out, or cut something back, or make some kind of sacrifice somewhere, or go back to the drawing board and redesign your code for the game. And at that point, like, you could be faced with, yeah, we're just reprogramming the entire game from scratch, essentially. I mean, it won't really be from scratch. There's some stuff you're going to carry over, but yeah, you like have to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, how do we transition the programming from the old design to the new design? Because obviously there's no way to make it just work with the old design. And that could be an insanely hellish process. It's literally like starting a new game over. You're literally starting the game over again from the development standpoint, at least the programming side. Obviously the game's already designed, but from the programming side, you were literally pretty much starting from scratch. And I don't know, are you going to spend the next 2 years doing that? Are you going to spend the next 2 years reprogramming an old game to have rollback? Like, it's more than likely it's possible to do it, unless you're really going super hard on the hardware. But yeah, I don't know. Do you make that call? I'm pretty sure that most companies won't. You know, that's why it's you're not gonna really see, like, people are like, well, just add rollback to Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. There's no way in hell that's gonna happen. The closest you're gonna get to that is they're gonna get to a point where they're like, okay, we need to make a Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. Now that we're starting a brand new game, which we have the time to go back to the drawing board on, you know, now we can put in rollback. You know what I mean? But they're not gonna go to Dragon Ball FighterZ and be like, all right, well, this game's already out, and adding rollback's probably not gonna bring in that much new sales. Why are we going to spend 2 years? Or, well, okay, so like MKX did it in 1 year, right? But the process, depending on the game, could be longer too. So it kind of depends. Also, NetherRealm has a lot of fucking money. They really don't care. They're sitting on piles of money. Like, their games sell like 6-7 times the amount that other fighting games sell. So they've got lots of money. Oh, it was 10 months with 8 people or 8 months with 10 people. I forget what it was. It was not 6 months. It was at minimum 8. I think they had 10 dedicated people and it took them 8 months. And NRS is a bunch of crackheads. That's certainly quirky. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why MK11 got dropped that quickly. I guess if they're starting a new game, that sort of makes sense. It seems kind of quick. But I don't know. I don't keep up with NRS stuff. I don't really like their games. So I'm not sure what the difference between MKX, like the time span of when MKX released and when MK11 released. I'm not sure. So maybe they only do support games for 2 years and move on? I don't know, maybe that's their pattern. I don't play their games, so I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so like if you're faced with that reality, chances are you're not, number one, you may not even be able to afford to do that. Like, the company may literally just not be able to afford to do that. And the other thing is that it doesn't really make sense from a business standpoint to bother doing it anyway. For old games that you can emulate, like Garou, Mark of the Wolves, like KOF, well, 2002 wasn't really emulated. That was an actual port, but they were willing to go back and do it. But the old games aren't as complex, so it's a little easier to do that. But if like you were emulating it, like SNK's arcade games that got emulated, that's really easy to put rollback in those games, because everything in the game is encapsulated, and you just brute force it with enough horsepower that it's like, okay, the PlayStation 5 can obviously emulate an arcade game at several times the speed that it could normally play back as. So that's not like an issue. But if you're like, oh, we want to add it to, like, why don't they add it to KOF 13? It's because your PS5 can't run KOF 13. with all the game programming and all the screen rendering, it can't do that like 8 times a frame. It just can't. It doesn't have the horsepower to do that. So there's no way you're gonna just like emulate KOF 13 and add rollback that way. Not on our current hardware. You know, you're gonna have to wait another like 10 years for that. Well, maybe sooner. It depends. Technology always going crazy, but I would probably say that's probably pretty accurate. At least 10 years before you get something like that. But if it's like, oh, I want to take KOF 95 and emulate that, yeah, obviously the PS5 can run that probably at like 20 times the speed that it could with an emulator. You know what I mean? Right, at least. So, like, doing rollbacks with that is fine. Saving and loading, there's almost no memory in that game compared to, like, current memory. So that's, like, super easy. Well, I say super easy relative to doing other stuff, we'll put it that way. But if you have to actually get in the code, because the game is, like, too intensive to just emulate and run multiple times, that's where all this super expense comes into play, because then you have to really get into the code and change how it works, and the changes to make it work are really substantial. There's also a huge issue with Japan just not having people with the knowledge and skill set of rollback. They flew a Killer Instinct dev out to Japan to work on Strive. Yeah, I wasn't aware that they worked on Killer Instinct, but that would make sense. I think I know who you're talking about, though. Yeah, well, I mean, you can learn it, but there is I think part of it might be a language barrier thing, where mostly it's the English-speaking countries that are talking about rollback and the technical details of rollback. But it shouldn't be impossible for them to learn if they were motivated to do so. But there hasn't been a big motivation to do so until very recently. Yeah, I don't know the specifics of what their arrangement was with them, but I think I know who you're talking about, though. But yeah, Killer Instinct rollback is good. Yeah, they basically took GGPO and they modified it, I think, or they looked at the code and they're like, oh, that's how it works, and then they, like, you know, wrote their own clean version of it. It was something like that. They didn't just use it out of the box, because again, it was like a Windows only thing. You know, even if you take the code base and modify it, you still kind of have to, like, modify it, you know, to really work on all platforms. Japan FGC sees what games are making it to Evo, not theirs. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, there was that. What was it when it was Evo Online 2020, right? The one that got canceled, where, like, it was all the games except for, like, one was, like, all rollback, and then, like Smash was completely missing out of the lineup and shit like that, and it's just like, yeah, no, I don't blame him, because it just literally wouldn't be playable online like that. Running an online Smash tournament is a fucking nightmare. Looks like every fighting game is going to have rollback except BN games, from what I'm... BN games? Oh, Bandai Namco. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, they tried with Tekken 7, so here's the thing. People are like, oh, well, Tekken 7's rollback's not that good, and they're like, we could only get 3 frames. Yeah, to go back to what someone else in chat was asking about what Harada said. But remember that Tekken 7 released as delay-based first, so they also had to go back to the drawing board and try to do it. And this is what I was saying about, if you don't design your game for it ahead of time, then you have the problem of the game is using so much of the hardware's power that we just don't have any power left to run the rollback. And then you have the problem of the game is using so much of the hardware's power that we just don't have any power left to run the rollback. and they were only able to get 3 frames of rollback in because they just maxed out the console. It just couldn't take anymore. And the way they designed it initially didn't have any of this in mind. So either they were doing things with that extra horsepower from the console that were just too intensive to do in a rollback situation, or the code base that they were working with, they weren't willing to go back to the drawing board and reprogram the game from scratch to make it work. So there's a good example there where they're like, yeah, it just, look, the translations are weird, and the way that people try to explain, developers will try to explain things that make the most sense to most people. So when Harada says that it's difficult to do rollbacks with 3D games and they had trouble with the 3D animation and all this stuff, I think it's an oversimplification. I think it's either partly a mistranslation, or it's kind of his way to sort of explain in the most easy way to understand possible why they only got 3 frames of rollback. We could sit here and have a 20-minute conversation of exactly why they only got 3 frames of rollback, but nobody's going to listen to that other than like the people here interested in that. You know what I mean? So if you're going to make a statement to your fans, I think his explanation kind of encapsulates most of the points that I would go over. That, yeah, the game was just too intensive on the hardware that they started designing for to go back and retrofit it without reprogramming the entire game. I think that would be the quickest way to say that. His explanation was, it's really hard to do rollback in 3D because of the animations and all this other stuff. And I think what he's really trying to get at is, yeah, it's just too much fucking data. It's too much processing power for the way that we designed it. And to go back and to try to shove it in after the fact, it's just not going to work. But if they went from the get-go, from day one, they're like, we're putting in rollback, software designers, make sure this game can run in rollback, make sure it's efficient, make sure, you know, it can run that way. They could have done it. It's fine. They absolutely could have done it. No reason that they couldn't have. Maybe they would have had to sacrifice some graphical fidelity to make it all fit. That's very possible. Maybe they would have had to take a different approach to particle effects and their animation system and all this other stuff. Absolutely doable. But when you go back and it's like, oh, well, we could spend 12 months refitting the game to do this, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. like we're not bankrolling that, sorry. You know, do what you can and we'll see what happens. But here's the good thing though, now that they've done that in Tekken 7, if they go into Tekken 8 and they prioritize having GGPO, or not necessarily GPO, but rollback, to be clear, GGPO is a piece of software that implements the concept of rollback, but GGPO itself is not the same thing as rollback. But now if they go into Tekken 7 and they're like, hey, we're going to prioritize doing rollback, so we're going to build the engine this time with that in mind, it'll work. It's fine. They'd be perfectly capable of making it work. There's no reason that Bandai Namco, with all their talent and resources, wouldn't be able to make it work. Let's see. Oh, I gotta catch up here. Could they port the fixed netcode from MVCI to Street Fighter V? From my understanding, MVCI and Street Fighter V use the same basic underlying system for netcode, and the issue... Hey, get out of there. Hey, no, get out of there. Cat's getting behind the wires. It uses the same basic, like, underlying components. So like their implementation is going to be the same, but from my understanding, if you want to equate it to this chart, the problem with Street Fighter V's netcode is in this layer. It's in the GGPO layer that's on the chart. Now they don't use GGPO, but whatever their rollback is, this part of the code is what the problem was. So the game was fine. You didn't have to change anything with the game. It was just the way that their rollback component was syncing with the other rollback component and the other player. There's a glitch in there. That glitch was fixed in MVCI, and it was a very simple fix from what I understand, having looked into the Ultimore patch. And that component, their rollback component in MVCI, they fixed that going forward. So someone somewhere fixed it for whatever reason. Somebody noticed it. And there goes my track updater blowing up in real time, as it does basically every day that we stream. And we'll restart it, and now we can see the track names again. But yeah, it was basically just almost like a 3 to 5 line fix. It was like really simple. It was just when it was keeping track of how far ahead one player was from another, that was the issue. And there was some glitch in there where it was calculating incorrectly, to kind of simplify it as an explanation. So really all they would have to do is look at MVCI's, rollback network component, or not network, but rollback netcode code component, this layer here in the chart, and they would just have to port that fix over from one to the other. Yeah, they could absolutely do it. They could have done it years ago, but I don't know. It is what it is. I couldn't tell you exactly why they haven't done it. Maybe they don't trust the fix. Maybe the people that worked on that don't work there anymore, so they're kind of like, yeah, we don't want to screw with it because we don't know what we're doing. We don't have anybody here that knows how this works, or something. I don't know. Or they're in a different team and they don't want to bug them, or I don't know. I just don't know. I kind of figure they could just assign someone to figure it out, and if there's no one there that knows it anymore, assign someone to figure it out. Because that happens all the time. Like, people change jobs, people leave the company, and you just have to assign someone to figure out what the hell was that person doing, what does this do. Like, programmers, that's part of the job. You're handed a piece of code, you're like, we don't know what this does, you have to figure it out, and it's just, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you should worry about Street Fighter 6 because they've already fixed it in MVCI. So as long as they just reuse that code, or whoever's making it looks at that code, it should be fine. Like, I just can't imagine any realistic situation in where Street Fighter 6 would be so mishandled that it would somehow undo the fix they've already done. I would be extremely surprised if that were the case. We'll put it that way. I'd be really surprised if that ends up happening. I think Street Fighter V was just kind of a clusterfuck anomaly. And then once we get past it, I think we're fine. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't a big fix. And Ultimore gave them here, this is exactly the line you need to fix, and this is how you need to fix it. So, I don't know. I don't know if they were just so mad that they refused to use it. I have no idea. It's unfathomable to me as to why it wasn't fixed. Yeah, I don't think 15, KOF 15, I don't think they'll launch without rollback. Capcom Redemption arc will be complete. Yeah, that's the thing too, now, as they move on, I really don't think it's gonna be a problem. I think to just let Street Fighter V just take its course and live out its life, and then they're just gonna forget it ever existed, and then moving on. It's just, I don't know, it's weird, whatever. It's just gonna be that goofy game, man. It's gonna be that goofy game that Okay, let me qualify this. If Street Fighter 6 is any good, I think everybody's just gonna forget about 5, and everybody's gonna move on, and it'll just be a page in history. And that's it. It'll just be the weird game in the series that we talk about and laugh at, you know, in the future. Yeah, mechanically they turned Street Fighter 5 around. It's just the technical level of how it performs, and like the netcode and stuff is where that's just where they don't seem willing to examine it for whatever reason. But yeah, mechanically, they've really changed things around. It only took them 4 years, but apparently we're on the right track again. Hey, you know, look, I'm just happy we're on the right track again. That's fine. I'll take the W's where I can get them. That's fine. I'm looking forward to Street Fighter 6. I want to see what they've got cooking. You know, this last season of Street Fighter 5 has shown that whatever changes have been taking place, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, whatever changes have took place behind the scenes, which coincidentally lines up with Ono leaving, everything seems to be kind of like improving now. So hopefully hopefully the improvements keep coming, and when Street Fighter 6 comes out, it'll be cool. I hope Akira is in Street Fighter 6 launch roster. I wouldn't bet on that, but it would be neat. I would like to see it, but I can't imagine that would actually happen. Maybe, who knows, but I can't imagine that would actually be the case. I think you're definitely going to see Luke, though. Kind of the way they were talking about him kind of sounded like he was part of Street Fighter 6's plans. Need to put the Street back in Street Fighter, for real. Absolutely. I don't know if we're gonna get that kind of revival, but I would love to see it. A man can dream. You can dream. Dreams are free, baby. You dream all you want. I think they're more willing to expand things in those kind of directions, though. So maybe you won't see Akira. Maybe you'll see something else. Maybe you'll see Batsu instead. You know what I mean? So now that they're willing to dip in to their tangential properties, you know, they can pull in so much more stuff now. You know, maybe they'll pull in some more. Well, they've consistently pulled in Final Fight characters, but they could pull in some more stuff from there. Hold on a second. They're monkeying with something. I'll be right back. Okay. Everything's fine. We're back. On the other hand, Sam Show had a lot of guest characters, so maybe we could get a World Warriors team in in KOF 15. It would be cool. I don't know if Capcom's ready to make that leap. Capcom versus SNK have shaken hands before, so it's just a matter of willingness. Yeah. At this point, it's Capcom. Capcom's not the one holding their hand out. SNK's got their hand ready to shake with anybody that walks down the street right now. So, you know. Let's see, Samsha went too far with the guests like MK does, in my opinion. I don't know. Like, I think they were good at choosing who to add. At least they chose appropriate characters. You could say, well, the Biken trailer just came out, right? So Biken from Guilty Gear is going to be in Sam Show. But I think that's the one that's the most out of place. And even then, it doesn't really feel that out of place because Biken, for the most part, is low tech. You know, other than the fact that she has, like, you know, airplane goggles or whatever on her head. But, like, everything she does is pretty, like, old world. Like, she's got, obviously, the sword. Her attire looks pretty old world. She's got, like, that, like, grappling hook arm thing, but it's, like, it's old world looking, so it's fine. I mean, you have to ignore the fact that she's from the future. And that's why I say, like, she's the least fitting because she's not time period appropriate. At least even in her story, not, you know, really in that time period. But, like, everything about her, like, if you didn't know about the Guilty Gear story, you might not even pick up on that fact, you know what I mean? So it's fine, like, but when I say, like, she's the least fitting one, like, I don't mean that as, like, a dig to Biken. What I mean is that all their choices have been so fitting that I'm not sure you would be able to tell that they weren't for that game if you weren't told. You know what I mean? Like, even like the crossover would For Honor, I think is the name of the game, right? Where they picked Warden. He's a knight. He's just like Charlotte, who's in Charlotte comes from Sam Show, and she's just a European knight. You know, she doesn't have as much armor as Warden has, but it's like the same thing. You know, it's not like they've never had European characters in Sam Show. It just is what it is, and Warden just kind of fits right in. He's just a knight. He's a dude. He's got a sword. He's got armor. It's samurai versus knight. That's cool. That's fine. And if you didn't know it was from For Honor, whatever, man, it would fit right in. So I think they did a really good job picking their guest characters. There's a lot of them, but I don't think they're really bad. Like, what's the other one that she's like a bunny girl or something? That's fine. Whatever, you've got like demons and shit, so you can have a bunny girl. That's fine. Whatever. Like, it just all kind of works, right? Let's see. Hibuki? Is that her name? That sounds slightly off, but I'm tired right now, so let's see. Samurai Showdown characters. Samurai Showdown 2019. Get ready for ads. Lots of ads. Go away. No, go away. Alright, characters. Initial roster. New characters. New character. Play here. Is this out of date? This looks out of date. This looks hella out of date. Oh wait, here. DLC. Season 1. Okay, Wanfu is one that's new. I think these other ones are normal. And then you have... Yeah, dude, are these out of date? Where's... Oh, here, wait, here's Season 3. Hibiki, that's it. That's it. Chat said Hibiki. I'm thinking like that doesn't sound right. It sounds close. But yeah, Hibiki. Yeah, she might be a time travel case, but like if you didn't know, it wouldn't. You would never notice. Why is it frozen? What is wrong with this website? I can't even scroll down because it's fucking frozen. There we go. Yeah, her. Hibiki. Yeah, technically she's not from the same era, but you'd never know looking at it. Yeah, she's from Last Blade, right? You wouldn't know that. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know. Maybe there's some, like, sense in her outfit, like, if you knew Japanese history, maybe there's some tell here, maybe there's certain style that she has that's indicative of her era that's obviously not from the same as Samsho, but as a Westerner, you would have no idea. It's a girl, she's got a sword, she looks like she's from the old days, there's no difference. But that's what I mean, like, they did such a good job picking what they were going to put into the game for side, or not side characters, but guest characters that if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. Like, oh, I'm sorry, it's not Wanfu. I'm sorry. Wait, where's the bunny girl? Here's Warden. Oh, this one. This one? Yeah, here. 10 cents. Honor of Kings Mobile. Yeah, I'm sure it's that one. Yeah, that's it. Bunny girl here. Dude, tell me that's not an SNK character. If you put that in front of me, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I'd be like, yeah, that's an SNK character. It looks like something they would do. Are those bunny ears even real, or is it just like a hat that she's wearing? I don't know. Whatever. Hey, you look at this shit. It looks like an SNK character. It's fine. It's close enough. You could fool me if you're like, oh yeah, that's a brand new Samsho character. I'm like, yeah, I can believe that. That's fine. Like, they all fit. It's fine. I mean, Warden, he's just a knight. He may be the most plain looking one of them, but he still fits in. He's just a knight. You know? Let's see. It's more noticeable in Japan since the name of Last Blade is the name of the era she comes from. Oh, you mean the series Last Blade? In the Japanese title is like the name of an era? Yeah. Warden is the Luke of Samsho. Alright, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. It's fine. I'll give you that. But it's all pretty on brand. I mean, it doesn't really raise many eyebrows, except, you know, other than your knowledge of, oh, they're not actually from Samsho, they're from another series. It's fine. And they put, then they put Hamuro into Soul Calibur. That fit right in. That was good. I'm glad to see SNK, like, collaborating with other studios. That's cool. You know, they're willing to come to the table with almost everybody. I mean, look, dude, just look at the King of Fighters All-Stars crossed over with the WWF. Well, they call it WWE now. Look, I'm stuck in the 80s, alright? Give me a break. Back in my day was the WWF. But they did a crossover with that, and it somehow wasn't shitty. It was somehow hilarious and awesome. So that's fine. I'm happy that they're getting out there and they're doing all this crossover stuff. It's really cool. He already fighting John Cena's gold. Yeah, it's shit like that. Like, they leaned into it so hard. They just went with it. It's like, this is really stupid, and we're just gonna have fun with it. And it was great. That's what you have to do in those situations. I'm absolutely sure that it was not something that the creators of the game would have ever like picked for a crossover. It's somebody signed a deal somewhere, and the boss came in and he's like, all right, I've got our next collaboration lined up, and they're like, all right, hit us with it. What is it? They're like, it's the WWE, and they're looking at each other like, what? And then it's like, you just gotta make it happen. Just go for it. Go do it. Go on. And they're just like, all right, whatever, man. Just do it. Just do it up. If we're gonna do it, we're just gonna have fun with it. That's how I imagine that thing went down. And that's just how you gotta do it. So, yeah. Anyway, we've gone down a few rabbit holes, haven't we? Let's pop back up. I think we pretty much covered everything here. I'm still in the stage of getting game ready for GGPO. And then when GGPO is ready, then GGPO needs to communicate with internet. And that you have to write some code for this, but it shouldn't be too crazy. A lot of times, like if you're building a commercial game, you can just plug in this part. You just plug in Steam's library for this, and it just handles everything. Or like Epic Games Store or whatever. They all have their like own network code, and that ties into like the friends list and all that stuff. You can just drop that in. As long as GGPO can accept information and send that information, you just drop in your network code and you're all done. I mean, you know, it's not that easy, but you get what I mean. It's not the craziest part of the rest of it. It's probably the least amount of work is that part. And that's honestly, it's more like what you know. Knowing the network code is just more a knowledge thing than it is like an actual architecture problem. How hard is it to make GGPO work with Unity? Extremely. I've been working on it since January of 2020, and we're still here. It's tough. Of course, I took kind of the harder route when going through and doing this. You could shorthand some of it, but it's not going to scale correctly. So what I mean by that is, like, you could create a very specific engine that works. So like all the combat engine and all that stuff, you can kind of bypass Unity for most things and kind of roll your own stuff and do your own thing. And that might actually be easier to hook into GGPO because you're not really using Unity's features and all that other stuff. You're not dealing with Unity as much. So you could just make a game that runs in C# and then it just communicates with Unity when it needs to. And you could probably make rollback work easier in that. But that doesn't mean that Unity has rollback. That means that your little engine that runs inside of Unity has rollback, if that makes any sense. And so if you try to do anything with that with another game, you're kind of starting over. And I said, I don't really want to do that. I want to make Unity itself have rollback. At least all the features that I use. Like, my rollback doesn't work with Unity's 3D capabilities because I don't use 3D. You know, as an example. It's only the capabilities that I needed to work is what I programmed, and that alone was enough of a nightmare. So, but because of that, I could use it in any game now that I want to make in Unity. I could reuse it for anything. So it's not a hyper-specific thing for Pocket Fighter EX. And that takes a longer time to create something like that, for sure. So, do I plan on making another fighting game after Pocket Fighter EX? Yes, I don't know what that would look like. But I imagine that this will not be my last fighting game. We'll put it that way. I don't have anything hyper specific in mind. To the point where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go into production as soon as this is off the table. But I have ideas that I would like to turn into games eventually someday. I just don't know when that day may arrive. So kind of a yes, but I don't know when that will ever happen. Making an original game, a fighting game, would cost a pretty considerable amount of money. And I don't have that by any means, so that would be one of the big questions to answer for that kind of thing. But I would love to make an original fighting game at some point. It's really a matter of resources and time. But I got a whole bunch of games that I'd like to make, fighting and non-fighting alike. Let's see, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, so this bug here, where they freeze in their turnaround animation, they can actually still move and stuff. See. Oh, hold on. Lag there for a second. Like, they can still move and stuff, it's just the animation freezes, and I'm not sure why. Although there's some animation that are just flat out broken, like this one's broke now. I always hear that fighting games are one of the most expensive type of games to make. I don't know if I agree with that. Video games in general are just really expensive to make. I don't think that... Yeah, I don't think that they're specifically more expensive than other games to make. I mean, at this point, video games have gotten to the point where they're hundreds of millions of dollars for like AAA stuff. I don't think they spent nearly that much amount of money on Street Fighter V, for example. And it kind of shows. But Guilty Gear too, like Guilty Gear Strive looks really, really good. I can't imagine that that has like $100 million budget, you know what I mean? I couldn't really begin to estimate what that would be. I'd be reluctant to take a stab in the dark at that. But it's definitely over $1 million, we'll put it that way. Even seemingly low-end games can take $1 million or more dollars to make. So, let's take Bloodstained, for example. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Like, it looks pretty good, but it's obviously not like a AAA blowout graphical powerhouse game. But that game was made for, like... Let's see. Maybe what? No, let's see. I'm trying to take a stab in the dark here how much their Kickstarter actually really added to the budget. Let's say that it was probably at minimum $8 million. $8 million to make Bloodstained. Most people wouldn't expect that it would be that expensive. They'd be like, oh, it's an indie game. Would they spend $100,000 on it? Like, no, they probably spent like $8 million on it. So when you think of it that way, it's like, yeah, games are just expensive to make. Well, as good as Strive looks and plays, well, try to make that comparison yourself. I'm not going to try to make an official guesstimate on that, but I would say it was pretty expensive. But it's not like $100 million expensive, or $200 million. You know, something like Battlefield now is probably like $250 million for the development itself. You know, like the Call of Duty Battlefield games are probably around that. People forget basic shit like paying people a living wage costs money. Yeah, there's that too. And the thing is that even in that realm, the proportional between the amount of work that a game developer does and the amount of money they make is actually way out of balance too. Games would be several times more expensive to make if they properly compensated people. So there's that too. And that's a whole big thing. We've been down that rabbit hole before. Games are expensive and expectations are even more expensive. Yep. Like when a Kickstarter goes up and people are like, why does that get, actually no, this doesn't happen, because if someone were to actually put a Kickstarter up for the amount of money that it would take to make the game, nobody would donate to it. They'd be like, oh, that's way too expensive. How could that game possibly be that expensive? So, like, a lot of Kickstarters, they, like, completely they lowball it, and they either, that's only part of the funding they get, and they're either fishing for a publisher, or they've already made an agreement with someone that, hey, if the Kickstarter goes through, you'll give us the rest of the money, right? Like, it's crazy. And set expectations lead to crunch. Yep. So what I mean by games would be more expensive to make if we actually treated our developers fairly, it's, you would be hiring at least twice as many people as you currently have. And the compensation for each person would be higher. But no company's going to bankroll that because they're used to screwing the developers over. I don't give a shit. You think Activision gives a shit about its developers? I don't give a shit. As far as they're concerned, you're replaceable. I don't care. I'd be like, oh, you want us to spend $500 million instead of $250 million? Yeah, fuck you. We're not doing that. You can take it or leave it. That's how that works. Publishers bank on passion? Yeah, that's true. That's why you don't see many new games. You want to leverage the fan base that you already got for that easy, guaranteed investment return. They don't give a shit about innovation. They're just in it for the money. And have a better work-life balance. Work-life balance? What the fuck is that? There's no such thing in the games industry. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is a work-life balance? Never heard of it. I struggle with that too. Especially indies. Indies don't know what life is. It's all work. Oh yeah, no, look, you didn't have to tell me about all the shit that's coming out from Activision. You didn't have to tell me that was coming. I could tell that was coming a mile away. Work to think about having a life. Yeah. Wait, you don't know about the Activision thing? Alright, look. It's not that I don't want to talk about it, but it's a pretty sensitive subject. It's one of those things that if you don't choose your words carefully, the people hosting your video might not like what you're talking about. Or at least there might be monetary consequences. So I would say go look up the details of that. But it basically has to do with not respecting certain types of employees in the workplace. Yeah, we'll put it that way. But there's certain trigger words that if you say the YouTube auto detection is going to start killing my video. We'll put it that way. There's some nasty shit there, like some real like trigger warning shit going on. So you wanna, if you look it up, just be prepared for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, with the whole investigation and stuff. Yeah, the thing that sparked that investigation is horrible. It's terrifying that something like that happens. Yeah, no, it's all about that stuff. But yeah, there's if I were to just frankly discuss it, this video would just probably get taken down. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, they're giant pieces of shit, and I hope all of them well, let's see. I was gonna say lose their job or whatever, but the problem is with like with the CEOs and stuff, like they're so rich it doesn't matter anymore. So even if they were to lose their job, it wouldn't matter. And anybody who's gotten fired, so like the president of Blizzard got fired, he's gonna find work somewhere else. He's not in any real trouble. Yeah, they fail upwards, exactly. They're not gonna have any real consequence. In fact, it's like a fucking vacation for them. That's not gonna hit. Oh, it did hit. That's cool. Yeah, they don't have to work another day in their life anyway, so like, who cares? It's fine. It's like, oh, okay, well, you're set for life already, so like, what does it matter? I don't know. I hope somebody just robs their bank account. How about that? Hit them where it hurts. Hit them in the money, right? I don't know. It's never gonna happen though. The rich people are just too safe. Their safety level is ridiculous. They don't have much to worry about, so it's kind of like, oh, I hope they lose their job, and I'm like, yeah, they already did, and it doesn't matter. So it's like, I don't know. What would a realistic punishment ever happen for them? It's just not gonna happen. Instead of 3 summer homes, they'll have to settle for 2. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, what realistic consequence could these people face? Because I can't think of one right now. At least not something that's forced on them. Like they could self-impose something, but they don't feel remorse about this. They don't give a shit. Anything the rich are afraid of is the IRS. They're not even afraid of that. Dude, Activision doesn't even pay taxes. Activision gets tax refunds from taxpayers. They don't even pay it. They get money. Instead of paying taxes, they get money. They don't fear the IRS. They don't give a shit. That's how awful this thing is. You don't understand. The system's so fucking rigged. It's so fucking rigged. You have no idea. It's so bad. What's my favorite SNK music? Yeah, let's palate cleanse this shit. My favorite SNK... That is hard. How can you pin down a favorite song from SNK? That's like saying, what's your favorite Castlevania music? It's like, all of it, I guess? I like... It would be easier to list the ones I don't like. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so good. Iori's theme. Yeah, but which one? There's like 20 of them. Like, that's the thing. There's so much of it, and all of it's so super good that, like, there's no way I could, like, even begin to, like... I could not make a top 10. I probably couldn't even make a top 20. It's too hard to decide. Goodbye Osaka and Tears, those are good. I would say that out of the Kyo themes, I will say this, out of the Kyo themes, I think Goodbye Osaka is my favorite. That's from KOF 2000. And they're bringing it back for KOF 15. I was super hyped to hear that. That's probably my favorite Kyo theme. I mean, they're all good, but that's probably my favorite one. Yeah, the one with the drums and the guitar. Yeah, those ones. Yeah, which one was that again? I don't know, it's like 100 of them. KOF music has been so damn consistently good for as long as it has, like, insane... Wait, for as long as it has is, like, insane in its own way. Oh, I get it, yeah. Right, because it's been really good for all this time. Yeah. Yeah, it really has. You know, even back in the day, the Arrange albums, especially starting in like 96, have been super good. The only bad Kyo theme is Funky Osaka. I think that was only an Arrange track though, right? Like, I don't think that was actually in the game. I don't know. I don't play anything before 98. like regularly. Like I've gone through it maybe once. But the old KOF games are pretty clunky. So I don't play anything other than like 98, 2000, 2002, and a little bit of 14. Like I have 14, I just haven't really dug into it too much. Mainly because of the netcode. It's kind of like I could play this game, but it would just, you know, I'm not going to spend that much time into it if I can't play it online. Yeah, that's true. KOF 2001 had a shitty soundtrack. That one was really bad. Funky Osaka is 9016. Okay, yeah, that's why I don't recognize it. I haven't played 96 in God, I played it once. And it was probably 10 years ago. It's definitely not on my list. Yeah, 2001 was bad. 2001 was just a really shit game in general. But they were in a... Well, they just got bought out, and they were about to go bankrupt or something, so, like... It was a bad time. We'll put it that way. I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people on that team that probably... were either pulled in from something else in desperation, or a lot of people just weren't there at the time. That was a bad time for them. Yeah, they did have the Geese Krauser and Mr. Big team in 96, didn't they? I mean, 96, like, it was cool for, like, the characters that were in it and, like, the story and stuff, but it wasn't... You know, you can't go back. Once you hit 98, like, you just can't go back. The gameplay was so refined in 98 over the other ones. I wouldn't say it was the leap between, like, Street Fighter 1 and Street Fighter 2, but for me, it's definitely like the leap between Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha. Like, it improved that much, where it's like, I know for some people this is blasphemous, but man, I can't stand playing Street Fighter 2. It feels real clunky to me. I like Alpha, but Street Fighter 2, it was really great for its time, but in retrospect now, it's like, nah, I don't want to play that. I'll play anything that came after it, but I won't play Street Fighter 2 itself. Yeah, gasp. Like, I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. I just know that whenever you say something like that, people get mad. Look in your heart of hearts, you know Street Fighter 2's clunky. Have you seen tournament gameplay of that game? I'll say Alpha 2 is a better version of Street Fighter 2. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Alpha 2 for me is like the quintessential Street Fighter. Like, it is the Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter core in sort of like its purest form. Or maybe not purest form. That might be the wrong word to use, but I think you understand what I mean. And, like, Street Fighter 3 is great. Like, Third Strike is really great, but it's very different from, like, old Street Fighter. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Exism is the best version of Super Turbo. You know, I'll give it that to you. If you ran just an Exism tournament, I would be down for that. I would absolutely play that. But I wouldn't be interested in playing, a Street Fighter 2 tournament. Alpha 3 was good, it's just that Vism broke everything. If you were to run an Alpha 3 tournament and just ban Vism, like, it would be really fun. Like, it'd be really great. But nobody does that. They'll be like, what? No Vism? That's lame. I want to do my touch of death. You can't block them fucking busted ass combos. And then turn it into an infinite at the end with crouch cancel. And I think you can crouch cancel an AISM too, though. So, you just need to ban that glitch. Alpha 3 didn't have soul? What? No way. Alpha 3's got a lot of soul in it. Alpha 3 was great. It was just broken. I don't agree with that at all. Alpha 3 had tons of style and tons of soul. That game was oozing with as much. They maxed out everything they could do with that game. That was the CPS2 capstone. You know, like, hey, you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. That's all right. I thought it was rebalanced on consoles, but the arcade heads don't want to touch the fixed console ports. They went back to busted ass vanilla Alpha 3. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know what they changed. We'll let you get away with that statement once. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if they made any substantial changes in the home port. Maybe they fixed crouch canceling. Who knows? But I highly doubt that they rebalanced Vism to not be busted shit, though. Alpha 2 was, or Alpha 1 was kind of strange, right? Didn't it have, like... Didn't Alpha 1 have, like, chain combos and stuff? I don't play Alpha 1. I haven't played Alpha 1 in an ungodly amount of time, but doesn't that game have, like, chain combos and stuff? So it's more like Darkstalkers than like Street Fighter. Yeah. Let's pop it up quick. Does it feel clunky? Alright, we're about to find out. Oh, wait, shit, hold on. Let me my stick. If we're gonna examine it, I'm gonna play it with stick. I'm dying here, hold on. Let's see. Untangle the damn cord here. Okay. Let's plug her in. Do we have control? Yeah, we do. Okay. Offline. I know that we don't have a training mode for Alpha 1, so we're just gonna have to check it out on the fly. Yes, yes, yes. What's... Oh, wait. What the fuck is... Oh, it's select. Let's say, where's the coin button? Alright, let's see. Let's see what Ryu's got. Let's see. Button check. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, yeah, you got the chain combo. It's so weird. So chain combo, just so we're all on the same page. You can press like medium kick, heavy kick, and it comes out in a combo. It's like Marvel. Like that. Like, it's so weird. You just do it, and it happens. You just press the buttons. Hold on. There's a little bit of a timing to it, but oh, hold on. Oh, that's. I tried to grab him like it was Alpha 3. But I think it's Street Fighter 2 grab style. Yeah, like that. That shit. Like, you just press the button and it comes out, just like Darkstalkers. It's crazy. And no other Street Fighter game's done that. It's so strange. Like, I can't imagine, like, what the idea was unless they were like, yeah, like that. Boom, boom, boom. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's like an actual legit combo. It's so weird. I'm not sure what the idea was. I really don't know. And then they totally reneged on it. On Alpha 2, they just got rid of it. They're like, nah, no chain combos. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe because Darkstalkers, they're like, oh, this is the future of fighting games? So we're just gonna do that, but I really don't know. Oh, that's a trade. Oh, he doesn't have red fireball. Oh, no, he does. He does. I wasn't doing it right. Alphas 1 is so weird. Yeah, that's true. Guy and Gen have some like target combo links. Oh yeah, and then this was the first one where they had multiple levels of super. Actually, I don't think you can do. Oh, you can. Yeah, you can do level 2. Okay. It wasn't just Alpha 2 that did that. Nah, he's just input reading now. Damn computer, especially the old games. Yeah, look at that. He just... Oh, that's not the grab command. That is not the grab command. I forgot, it doesn't work like that in this game. I'm so used to having the 2-button grab. I would say that, like what you're saying with Guy and Gen, those are more like target combos than anything. I think they're pre-programmed specific. Come on. Wait, you have alpha counters in this game, right? Shit. Oh, that was painful. Oh, wrong button. Yeah, let's try again. Oh, there we go. Charlie's a pushover. I like how they throw money in this stage. It's cool. I should do a playthrough of this game sometime. I'm kind of getting into it now. Pixel art on that Vegas stage is really good. Is that Las Vegas? Doesn't look like it would be. Jesus. Is there like no invincibility on it, or is it just input lag? I can't tell. I feel like when I'm doing shit, it should work, but it doesn't. It's just, you just harass people with sweeps and shit all day. It's so funny. This game is so weird. Go for the Akuma fight? I'm not that good. Are you kidding me? Looks like New Orleans to me. Yeah, that's the impression that I got. I wouldn't say that's Vegas. Oh, maybe I'm just not doing the motion right. Oh, the hell was that? Lag spiked. Uh-oh. Oh, well that didn't work. It's kind of cool having the chain combos in Street Fighter, but it is kind of broken too at the same time. Like, not broken in the sense that the game's not balanced, but I don't know enough about it to know that. But it feels broken if you played other Street Fighters and you play this and you're like, oh, there's something not right about this. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. You feel like you're almost cheating because, like, you don't have this in other Street Fighter games. Ah! Of course, it just walks up. Oh! Oh, that was not a super. I'm not American, so it looks like Vegas to me. Fair enough. It was one of the last CPS1 games? I think that's true. Now, they did make a CPS2 version, I think. I think the CPS1 version? I don't know. Like, I read the oral history of Street Fighter Alpha. That Polygon article. And it was a little confusing to me because I was under the impression that the only actual version of Street Fighter Alpha, I don't think there's custom combos in Alpha 1. I think that's Alpha 2. I could be wrong. I'll try it. Damn it. I was under the impression that the only version of Alpha 1 that was CPS 1 was like the Capcom homeboard version. But I don't know if that's accurate. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it to say. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's fucking go. Yeah, let's see. Custom combos? Nope. At least if they're in here, it's not the same command as Alpha 2. Oh. Oh, shit. Jesus. Jesus. Uh-oh, that's not. There we go. Wow, that did not end in my favor. Yep, chip damage. I'm dead. Happy streaming. GLAF. Wait, what's GLAF? Oh, good luck, have fun, right? Yeah. Thank you. I'm trying. Wait, we're way off the mark today, but that's fine. Whatever. I'm absolutely down for a goofy stream this time. It's been an exhausting week, so it's fine. There we go. Let's see. Scott's got that cheese. Yeah, the win icons are pretty similar to Alpha 2, I guess, in that way. Oh shit! I wanted to super, not to jump, and also on the super, but that's fine. Alright, I'm a little pissed that Sagat's beating me, but I think I'll stop playing after that. Right. Ooh! There we go. Happy hour, and it's only Monday. Can we have a cheese one icon for Pike Fighter X? Yes, actually, I've been developing it. Hold on. I'll show it. Here, it's actually on the new HUD I'm designing. There it is. There's the cheese. Yeah, this is the new HUD I'm designing. We'll have to implement it after GGPO gets put in, because it'll be a bit of work to get it to go in. But yeah, these are the new icons here. I have... Is it this one? Yeah, here's my worksheet for those. Yeah, the cheese. So these are the current versions that I've been working with. I changed the way that they look. I removed the circle behind them, and I gave them a thicker outline to work with the new HUD. I think they look pretty alright. There's a couple you see, like I'm doing variations to see what the different variants might look like, trying out different designs and stuff. Oh, thank you, yeah. I think it looks alright too. I think I've gotten to the point where it might be as good as it's gonna get. You know, at least with my level of design. I'm pretty stuck on. I've been trying to iterate on this to make improvements, but I'm pretty stuck with it. I think this is about as good as I'm capable of getting it. And it's hard because it's low resolution, so you know, your usernames online and stuff are gonna be a little cramped, but I don't know if there's much of a way around that. Or at least I haven't been able to figure anything out, so. It looks like a HUD that would have been in an actual Neo Geo Pocket game. Not really. I tried to keep a style that resembled that. It's actually very different from what they do. Number one, because they always put theirs on a black border on top of the screen. So like the Neo Geo Pocket one would be like, here. What it would look like is it would look like this. It would look like this at the top. And then the bottom... Oh, shit, hold on. The bottom would, like, have to also be black bordered, so... It would look like this on Neo Geo Pocket. Something like that. Because they would letterbox it in. But they didn't... They had layering on the Neo Geo Pocket, but for whatever reason they didn't use it. Maybe it was a RAM thing. Or maybe they were using it for other things. But they never used it for the HUD for some reason, so... That's super cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I tried to keep it aesthetically in that same vein. So the fact that, like, to you came off as though it would have been like something from Neo Geo Pocket, that's good though. That makes me happy to hear, because I wanted to keep it kind of in a similar, in an aesthetic that evoked that kind of feeling. Not necessarily that it's a similar aesthetic. If you look at them side by side, they look very different. But at least that it gives you that feeling, that's good though. But yeah, we'll have to implement this after the fact, because we just don't have time to put all this in now. It'll be a lot of work. Alright, let me kill... No, don't quit, don't quit. Let me kill Sagat first. I'm mad. I gotta kill Sagat. Oh shit. Wait, he don't have Shippujin, right? Oh no! He's doing it again. Hey, eat that shit. You wanna jump in? Yeah, now he's going back for fireballs. No! I tried to stop it with a Shinryuken and it didn't come out. I'm so terrible at the old games. The input buffer, the input interpretation is really wacky. But it's not as wacky, it's just there's not much of it. It's you either do it correctly the way it wants or it doesn't come out. Ah, shit. Well, you have air block in this game. I forgot about that. Oh no, maybe you don't. Shit. Oh no, it's happening again. Stop it. No! No, you can't cheese Sagat with the Hadouken. You don't win Fireball Wars with Sagat. He's too good. He cheeses you. You don't cheese him. His Fireball's way better. Round 1 he's like dumb, but like round 2 he gets like Ultra Instinct going on. Well, I saw the background glitch out. Man, the emulation on the 30th anniversary is really bad. I don't know what they did, but it's not good, man. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Round 1 serves to give the children hope while round 2 crushes it. Yeah, that's true. No! Wait, do I have the roll? Oh shit, I got the roll. I got the roll. Oh, there we go! There we go, I got it. We got it. Alright, I'm satisfied. Alt F4. We're good. Oh well, I got the stick out. Oh. Am I not going up? Yeah, there we go. Am I not charging enough? Yeah, I must not have charged enough. I'm so terrible at charge moves, man. Yeah, I think I wasn't charging enough. I don't know, that one looked like it should have worked. I don't know, maybe something's bugged with it. Just gotta eat breakfast. Good luck, have fun. Well, thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Breakfast is important. Important meal of the day. I think, you know, honestly, that's cliche, but I think it's true. I think it is the most important. Because what you eat, it's not whether you eat or not, it's what you eat. Like, if you don't eat anything, that's bad. But if you eat the wrong thing, you can derail, like, your whole day. Like, you can make yourself sluggish and start a really bad cycle if you eat the wrong thing in the morning. Either physically or mentally, same thing. Yeah, it's fun playing with the stick, but I can't use the keyboard when I do that. It takes up all the room on my lap. And I can't pull the keyboard tray out. So, fortunately, I have to go back to the pad. I haven't used the stick in so long, I'm getting like super rusty with it. It's pissing me off. Let's see. Yeah, let's investigate that, that turnaround glitch. I have a feeling I know what's wrong with it, but we'll see. A box of Krispy Kreme for breakfast every day. I wish. Yeah. Yeah, when I said eating the right thing in the morning, that's not what I meant. Definitely not what I meant. At least for like for the stuff that I do, if you want to wake your brain up, you need fat. You need fat and protein. So just like bacon, just bacon. Eat bacon. Bacon will wake you right up. Get the juices flowing, or wake your brain right up. That's my secret. Bacon every day. No, not really. But when I have it, it works. Eggs should be good. I always find that eggs never seem to fulfill me. But they should, for what's contained inside of them, they should be good for waking your brain up. I just always find that whenever I eat eggs, even if I eat like 4 of them, I'm just hungry again, like real soon. So, I don't know. I'm not sure why that is. It doesn't seem like that should be the case, but it's just how it is. You're big enough that you'd need 5 eggs? Oh. Well, I guess that's why then. I have 3 every morning. Yeah, I feel like I eat 3 and I think like, I look and I'm like, wow, that seems like a lot, but like it never, I always had to eat something with it. It's never enough. But yeah. Okay. I guess I'll try 5 next time. I haven't had eggs in a while though. I just kind of, I was eating them a lot for a while, and I guess I just got sick of them, so I haven't eaten them in a while. I just kind of scrounge whatever I can at this point. I try to do something that's quick, so I don't want to spend like, you know, an hour and a half cooking a big elaborate thing. I just want to eat it and get to work. Let's see. There it is, crouch. Crouching. Here. We're not dizzy. We're not busy. So the not busy states. There should be the crouching turnaround is somewhere in here. Yeah, here. So is crouching or not crouching? I locked on to crouching because I know it was right next to it. So whether it's crouching or not, I would imagine that even if it's crouching, it's still going to do the same thing. Well, let's confirm that. Oh, it doesn't even play. Okay. Well, that doesn't help. Boink, boink. Huh. Alright, well, we'll look at that too. But it definitely happens when he's standing. So. Check if we play the standing animation. Where's... That's stand, but where's turnaround? Standing turnaround. Okay, if we're not turning around, then we want to play that. Here's the conditions. We are not in our landing pose. Not was crouching. That's so that we play the stand-up animation. And then if we're not crouch stand-up, standing turnaround, and not standing turnaround, then we play this. I have a feeling I know what's going on. So one of the bigger changes that I made since last week was an animation change. And I'm wondering... Yeah, wait a minute. So... any animation... is that? Any animation name. I'm wondering if I replace this code with whether or not the animation is still playing. I think that's what's supposed to be here. Because it's checking whether or not the animation name is this. And if it's this, then you don't transition into idle. And that makes sense. Because it is kind of doing that. That's exactly what I wrote, right? Well, the animation is still this, whether it's playing or not. It doesn't stop being this until I tell it to be something else. So I think what I need to do here is to add another condition in which that it needs to also be playing. Here, hold on, let me try to branch this out a little bit. So I'm going to put the not on the outside, and I'm going to say animator is playing. Do we have like an is playing? Or is finished? Yeah, okay. So if it's finished, it has to be finished in order for it to change. So let's see. If it is finished, and it's this animation. Yeah, and we're preventing it, so it's a not. This might work. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, have a good one, man. We do this every Monday, so if you had fun, come on back next Monday. We start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we go to whenever I feel like ending it. Usually a couple of hours. Oh no, it's like super broke now. What? Huh. Here, let's make a new function. I didn't see like an is finished or anything here, so I'm going to make an is finished. Or is plain. Yeah, we'll do an is finished. Is finished plain. And so it's going to be this and latest if it is not looping. In fact, we'll put this one in front. That's the quicker of the two things to check. This is just checking a cache boolean, where this is actually doing a calculation. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll do another, let's see. Looped animations do not ever finish playing. Let's see. check is animation time finished to see if the animation has reached past the loop point. There, do that. What are you working on? We're trying. Hello, welcome. We are trying to fix the turnaround animation that I had broken at some point. Is finished playing, yeah. Okay, so now we can take this and roll it back over here. So we can say, if it is finished playing, and it's this animation, then this. Let's see, hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. How long is that script? You don't want to know. What does it say? Does it tell me all the... Does it tell me the full size? Let's see. It's got the number here. This one is... Hold on. This one is 9,100 long. This one is 895 long. Oh, it's a lot of code. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, I format my stuff so it's kind of wider here. So it might be a little more of an inflated line count than other programmers, but it's a beefy script. Yeah, it's big. It's a biggie. I'm going to make another function here that's like, it's going to check multiple things at once. So it's going to be public pool is animation playing, and then it's going to take in the animation name. And first of all, if it's finished playing, then it's not playing, so return false. How do you remember where everything is in this 100 chapters book of a script? I wrote the whole thing, so I kind of have a memory of it. Let's see. Oh, okay. I do have kind of a memory of where things are, but I also split them into regions. So if I'm really lost, here, I'm gonna put a breakpoint here. Or would be an easier way to get here. Here, how about this? I was here. And then we'll just search I was here later. If I'm really lost, I can start to collapse things down. So I have everything's in a region. Like the events are in the events, pooled objects. Our focus, that's like where you focus on the other fighter. Health and stats, stun and dizzy, fighter linking, object spawning, you know, everything. If I want to condense it down, I've got all these sections that I can look through. And some of them have subsections and so on. I think there's a shortcut to auto-condense everything down. But inside the core, we have super activation, we've got time, crouching, blocking, guard fatigue, stun, hit stop, shit like that. I guess that one's inside of it. Yeah. Hit stun, hit push. So yeah, it's all here. So if you condense them down, like, you can really easily find what you need to look for. Assuming that it's in the place that it's supposed to be. There's some stuff that's a little disorganized, but it's probably better than some other attempts. No, it works. It works enough. But yeah, you see how much shit is in here though. And arguably there's some stuff that I could move to another controller, but there's no way you're gonna get under like 6,000 lines of code, I think, in this thing. It's just so interconnected. Everything is so crazy interconnected that it's hard to separate out. But here, yeah. So I mean, if you look at it this way, it's not too intimidating. You know? It's like, oh, here's your basic stuff up here. Super meter, that kind of stuff. But then when you look at it like this, you're like, oh, that's not bad. I can find what I'm looking for. Here's sound effects. Here's training mode stuff, rigid body, player input, animation. You know, I just go in here and oh yeah, here's all the stuff. You know, it's not too bad. It really isn't. You know, when you break it down like that. So, anyway, I was here. Here I was. There we are. So now I'm trying to combine the functionality of these two things into one function that'll be easier to figure out here. Right, and then so we'll return this if it is playing. Yeah, then we'll return the results of this. And this will be much easier to read, I think. So and I'll just do it like this then. So animator dot that, and I'll say that this can't be playing, right? And copy this and put it here too. So not playing that while that, and not playing that at all. That should work. I imagine you only need 5 scripts for your whole game then. No. No. Alright, look at this player object. Alright, just look at this player. Hold on. Just look at this player object. I have separated some stuff out and it's still a monster. Alright. Player object. Transform. I mean, everybody gets that. Transform fixed. Update on demand. These are rollback netcode things. Animator, fighter controller, rigid body, hit system controller, super animation controller. That's what we were just working in. Match reset controller, audio source, that's a standard one. The specific fighter behavior for Terry, the cancel window controller, the object spawner controller, shared event, super meter resources, command move, super activation, and that's only the base object. And now we've got all these. These are the hitboxes. This cold breath effect, that's for certain stages where you can see their breath. The shadow controller has its own stuff. The sprite itself has the palette, the sprite palette controller, hit, stop, shake. Sprite thickener, I don't use this anymore. That was more of a testing thing. The screen flashing, any sprite that needs to react to a screen flash needs that. The after image controller. The fire glow, and that's for certain stages. What's one? Yeah, the fire damage one. Here, this one has a flicker, a sprite flicker component. There's a lot to it. And that's only just for the fighters. Yeah. How's it going? It's going pretty good. How about you? Hey, let's see if we fixed the thing. See if we fixed it. It looks like it doesn't play at all. Yeah, it doesn't play at all. Really? Well, let's look at this again. Is finished playing. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm sorry, that shouldn't have been a not. Yeah, if it's finished, then it's false. Okay, I think I had a logical inversion. Pain. Yeah, but like I said, there's still some stuff in the main fighter controller that I can push out to other stuff. Like, handling the max mode doesn't really have to be in there. And if I make a mode, like a story mode with like enemies to fight, they don't need max mode, so there's some wasteful stuff in there. Oh shit, I fixed it. There we go. Like, maybe. It looks a little weird and stuttery. Let's see. No, okay, it just might be the frame rate in editor's a little strange. Let me take the hitboxes off. Like, yeah, I guess it looks a little better that way. Hey, I fixed it. How about that? Is it fixed for crouching? Of course not. Alright, so what's different about crouching then? That makes this strange. So this obviously works here. And let's copy this code. Let's look at the crouching. Crouching turnaround. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's using the old stuff here. So, how about that? Okay, obviously is crouching is already set because we're in crouching state. So let's look at this. Updates in crouching. We've been crouching for more than one frame. Let's write that down. Hopefully this will make sense. So I want to change this to the new code that we made. I don't know if that'll be enough to fix it, but let's see how that reacts now. Because I think it was broken before I made these changes to the animator. So we'll make him crouch. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's working. Yeah, he just flips. It doesn't occur. Okay. Where does this get played? Let's find out. Here. Update turnaround animation. We are crouching. If we are standing, if it's a crouch, or I'm sorry, if it's the crouch down or is crouching animation, like as you are crouching down, the motion of crouching down, or if you're already crouched down, then you play turnaround. If you're crouching. I mean, that looks correct. We'll just do a ghetto debug. We'll see if it's actually playing. We'll check the log here. If we see here, then it's actually working, and we know that that's doing okay. But if we don't see that, that means it's not even getting there. Then we can figure out why. Okay. Crouch. No, it's not even playing. Okay, well, I mean, That sort of explains that, I guess. Okay. So where does this go? Face right? Face left. Well, let's move this up here to this scope and see if we can see it from there. Okay. That means, for whatever reason, it's not detecting these. Let's see. Yeah, if either of these are playing, right? Any animation name is this. I call this any animation name because I could have called the animation with any number of these conditions. Either it was pulled from a registry, it was the requested state name, or it was the one that I called the animation with that I actually requested. So I can request a name and then the registry can change the result of that. Or it could be just a clip name. If any of those are true, that's what that's for. It's a little confusing, but that's fine. It works. So that means it didn't find either of these? That's strange to me. Yeah, these are just constant ones, right? Crouched. That's weird. It doesn't find either of them. Here, let's do here 1 and here 2. Just to confirm again that I'm not going crazy, that it's only getting one of them. Again, this is like super ghetto debugging. This is pretty inefficient, but it is what it is. Uh-oh, it's going fucking nuts. Alright, well, we don't need warnings. We just need the normal walk. Yeah, here 1, but no here 2. Really? I mean, he's obviously in his crouched pose. It's not like it's trying to call the animation and failing. It's just determining that you're not in that animation. God, that's strange. So it means that neither of these, the crouch down or the crouched animation, are here. That's wacky. Why wouldn't they be in there? There's a name mismatch or something. But we're using this to start the animation, so what gives? Okay, now we're gonna have to get into the real debugging. We'll see exactly what the name is supposed to be at that moment in time. Boink. There we go. I put a breakpoint in so it stops it. So right now, let's was it not giving me any info? What's going on here? Why don't I have any info? I should be able to look at the info here. That's great. I mean, it stopped. It did breakpoint. Oh, it's like broken. Yeah, look. The controls are broken. I don't know. It does this sometimes. It's been doing this like lately, and it's been really pissing me off. And I honestly don't know what the fucking problem is. I don't know if there's an incompatibility or what's up. Like, it'll breakpoint, but it won't actually breakpoint. See? It stopped. It stopped the game. It found something. But Visual Studio Code's like pretends that it never happened. The controls are all the same. I don't know. It's really weird, but if I take these out and yeah, like it pretends that it never found anything. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, let's remove all breakpoints. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. Sometimes this shit just fucking weird. Do I have any updates for plugins? I mean, I just upgraded the Unity version, so maybe something fucked up. Do I need an update? How do I know if I need updates? No, that's fine. Debugger for Unity. Like, I'm on the current version, 3.2. They haven't updated it in 9 months. I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know, man. Shit kills me. One thing goes wrong and the whole fucking thing stops working. That's our time up signal, but I'm mad now, so we're staying here for a bit. Anger is a great motivator. Code snippets. Alright, you know what? Let's just fucking close it and reopen it. I don't know. Maybe that'll fix it. Turn it off and turn it back on. Be surprised at how well that works sometimes. Let's see. I'm looking for fighter controller. Here. Alright, now it's going to take 8 years to initialize, so we'll give it a moment to catch its breath. Anger time added to the clock. Yep. Pretty much. At least it kept all my breakpoints. Like, everything looks fine here. It's on Unity. Alright. Let's try it again. Alright, we're right here. No, that's not right. We want this one. Here. So when it gets here, we want to stop. Boink. And it's still fucking broken. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Let me just turn it off. Start debug. Okay, then turn it on. Okay. Then walk, point. Well, they didn't catch anything. Oh, okay, he's not crouched. Point. There we go. Yeah, no, it's still broken. You would see these icons light up if it actually caught it properly. So it stops the game. The breakpoint triggers, but Visual Studio Code just doesn't acknowledge it for some reason. Like it's pretending that it didn't find anything. Because you would be able to use these controls to step down through the code lines. And this would turn into... Like it wouldn't be paused. It would be something else, like unpause. Or like restart? I don't know. It's just fucking broken. I don't know why. Alright. Super ghetto time. Are we ready? Super extra ghetto time. God damn. Fucking hate having to do this. It's such a pain in the ass, but... And then, instead of called lid name, we want name and registry. So just create a debug message that tells us what the stuff is. I hate doing that. It's a real pain in the ass, but if it's not going to work any other way. So we did registry, requested state name. And there should be one more. Clip name. Yeah, I think we didn't do that one yet. Okay, save it. Try again. Oh, let's make sure this is not in debug anymore. Okay, it's not. That's good. Coding sucks. Technology sucks. All fucking sucks. Boink. Crouch hold. Crouch hold. Nothing? Crouch hold. Well, I mean, that explains it. None of these are crouched. Name and registry might not be... loading correctly. That might be the problem. Okay, name and registry comes from there. I guarantee it's a registry failure because I'm asking it for crouched and it's giving me the name crouched hold, so some transference is taking place there. Okay. Name and registry is the last one. Activated animation registry comes from the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Activating registry. 1, 2, 3. And here, 1, 2, 3. Activated animation registry. Find all. Okay. Reject silicon, return to rock. Dude, I'm gonna be real with you. There are some days where I'm just like, I'm just gonna take my fucking dog and I'm gonna walk up that hill and build a cabin. I live in the mountains. But I just feel I'm just gonna walk up there and build myself a goddamn log cabin and I ain't coming down. I'm done. Some days I really think about that sometimes. It's too much, man. Alright, where's this thing come from? This is from here. There's a new one. Yeah, okay. Finds the registry entry. Here. I don't know if maybe it's not assigning it correctly. If it's not, if it's an assignment problem, this should fix it. This should be fine. You see, that's the only thing that keeps me from going to the log cabin is there's no internet. It's the only thing keeping me out of it. Otherwise, I'd be up there. I'd be chopping the damn trees down right now. Well, I mean, not right now. It's in the middle of the night, but you get what I mean. Oh, that doesn't work. Yeah, the registry name is still blank. Crouch hold. So, I requested crouch hold. Here, let me put... Damn it, where's my window? Here. Let me put... Oh wait, wrong one. Let me put little quotations around these to make sure that it's not just like a formatting error. Okay, name and registry, name and registry. There. Let's just run the test one more time, just for my own OCD sanity's sake. Because the next test we're gonna do... Oh no, we can't do that because we can't fucking breakpoint because it's broken. Oh, it's pissing me off now. Man, I hate when the debug tools just break like that. It really pisses me off. Okay, yeah. Name and registry is blank. You can see the quotations here. It's blank. How is that possible? So there's really two explanations here. Either this is not being set correctly, which I think it is. I don't think it's any chance that it's not here. Because this gets overwritten easily enough. So this should be able to be overwritten. I mean, these are the same things. They're both animation name objects. So either this isn't getting set. Hey, you know what? How about this? Let's put not set here. And see if it shows not set on the bottom. That'll help clear up some of it. Yeah, it's still blank. It's still blank, so it's not that. It is not this. This is not the problem. So activated animation registry. I'm gonna say name. This gets sent to here. Is it any other point does this get disrupted? No, it gets set once and it gets sent off to here. It's the third one. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. And this, it just gets shoved into here. Now here's the real one here. This is the one we're looking for. Okay. Clip info. State info. Requested name. That's resolved state name. Yeah, requested state name. Called with name is the original request name. Name in registry. It's this one. I mean, so far so good. Name in registry. Name in registry equals name in registry. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I'm not sure what the problem here is. Yeah, I'm a little baffled. Alright, time for more ghetto debug. I like cows. If we see I like cows in the debug message, then we'll know that at least at that point, it's fine. Why am I reduced to this? There's nothing! There's no I like cows. No I like cows. Okay. That's fucking weird! Why is it like that? Okay. Alright. So, we know at this point, something's like super done goofed. Alright, let's go in here. How many references are there to this? Is it getting overwritten somehow? How is this failing? This makes no sense. Alright. Fucking, I like cows. Try it again. Watch us like break something else. Let's try to do this. Okay, it's here. I like cows is here. So now what the fuck is the... Alright. This is the same name here. Which goes into here. Somewhere between this and this, something's wrong. It doesn't make any sense. Alright, one more test. Ah! Frustrated, so that's the message. We're just gonna, whatever this comes in as, we're just gonna overwrite it as this and then shove it into this. I mean, they're the same names, right? Yeah. Registry. Hey, it's not like there's a typo or anything. Okay, now that worked. That was to be expected. That worked. But somehow this call? Wait, what's this one? Oh, this is different. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think I may have found the problem. Perhaps. Is this one gonna say cows? I found the problem! We got it. Okay. This would have been way easier with the debug tools. Okay, so what's going on here? This is overwriting our data, I think. There were two places that this data gets produced. And it's here and it's here. This one's fine. There's nothing wrong with this one. Because we even changed this to something else and we never saw it show up in our debug. But this one, if you notice, has a blank entry. Therefore, that's why we were seeing the blank name. So this piece of code, just TLDR, if the animator detects that Unity's animation has changed the animation, it wants to update its data to reflect that. So this is getting caught somewhere here. This is under update Unity animator. So let's see, this only occurs in one place. Here, let's close that. What I want to know is, where does this get set here? Okay, this gets set ahead of time. Unity up there, play. That's why. That's why. This has to get set down here. This is getting into the nerd territory. This is the real weeds of the operation. When you set an animation in Unity, it doesn't actually set it right away. I use my update method to force it to set the animation. So when I set it here and then ran this immediately after, it was getting the animation that was previously played, not the new one. I have to update it here and then give it the new one. Now it should work. Well, I won't say that the animation might not play, but at the very least, our debug message should show the correct name now. Show me potato salad! Yep. There it is. Caldwood crouched, and it requested crouch hold. Yep, and it works now. See, the animation actually plays now. Look at that, we fixed everything all in one. That was a stupid oversight on my part. That's really bad. It happens. Look at that, though. Cool. There, it's got a nice smooth little animation. Yeah. Looking good now. Alright, that probably fixed actually a bunch of issues that I've been having. So that actually really helps. Better resolved than unsolved. Yeah, for real. I'm happy with that. That was a big bug too. All right, let's see. Does it still? Because this one's bugged too. Yeah, that one's still bugged. That one's still bugged. Those are different issues though. We don't have time to fix those today. So, what was happening? TLDR for this to break. Because I changed the way that the animator works. And this was a problem before, and I've noticed some weirdness happening here and there. Yeah, actually, let me switch to Ryu. I think it's still glitchy, so we might be able to still observe the problem. For the most part, even if it's coincidentally, it wasn't so much of a problem before. But since I changed the animator and tightened things up, now it's a problem. So here. Oh. Yeah. Broken. That's not going to do exactly what I want. But I think it will, sort of. Yeah, okay. The glitch is still happening. It's just not as apparent anymore what's going on, but I'll have to explain it. So here. I'm gonna hit him and then stay maximized. Okay, so I'm gonna initiate a alpha counter here. And I'm gonna hold forward, and so what that's supposed to do is supposed to do the Shoryuken version. I'll pay close attention here to the hitboxes on Ryu. What in the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Why is that there? Okay, I can explain. This has always kind of been a glitch. It just never was a problem until I fixed other issues that then made it a problem, if that makes any sense. I cleaned the code up, and now that it's working properly, it's really busted because this issue now comes to the forefront. What's happening here is there's a little bit of an out of order operation going on where during an animation update, I have called to change the animation to something else. During that process of loading the new animation, it changes the hitbox data while the old animation is still active, and then updates the hitboxes. So it's using the old animation, says, hey, I need hitbox, 1 or 2 or 10 or whatever. And then the hitbox data is a file that's loaded on the side. So when it says, I want hitbox number 2, it goes to that file and gets the data to create the hitbox on screen. It's requesting hitboxes from the old animation, but using hitbox data from the new animation. And those lines are getting crossed here. So instead of having a push box, instead of having this purple push box on him, well, whatever number hitbox that is, that corresponds to the new move, ends up being an attack box. And it's pulling that out for 1 frame. Well, he's in hit stop, so you're gonna see it for a couple frames. But as soon as he's out, then, see, he, glitches out, and he goes back. So it's loading data before the other animation is in there, and it's not updating that animation because it's inside an update already, and it's bad. The solution? The concept is very simple. I think the solution is going to be, if we're inside an animation update, and I say, I want to change to a new animation, it needs to know enough to say, no, we can't do that. because we're inside the animation update. However, what we'll do is we'll write down that information for you, and the next available moment that we can transition to a new animation, then we'll do that. And that'll just be in the next update. So it'll just make a note of, hey, you tried to change to this animation sometime in between the updates for the fighter, so we're gonna play the animation now for you. But that's gonna be a bit to set up because there's several conditions and in ways that can occur, so I think that's the way I'm gonna do it. But we'll have to, I'll probably be working on that tomorrow off stream. But at least we know what's going on, and God, I'm so glad that animation glitch is fixed. Let's make sure Terry's works. Oh my God, look, he turns around normally. Oh yeah, the cold breath controller, that's what this is for, where they're breathing in the snow. By the way, that's for that. Oh my God, that has been a glitch for a long time, that they couldn't turn around smoothly while crouched. Oh. Oh, I'm so glad. It feels so good to have that fixed. And when glitches get fixed, it feels so nice. Like, it's a great feeling when you see things actually working. Dude, it's a horrible feeling. Like, 90% of development, you feel awful. Because everything looks so broken and fucking busted, and you just get, like, I don't know. At least I get, like, weirded out by it. Like, it's just... I wouldn't say it's necessarily demoralizing, because if it was completely demoralizing, I wouldn't be able to finish the project, but... Like, it really sucks to look at it every day. Like, it hurts to look at broken shit. The only solace is that, you know, eventually it's gonna get fixed, as long as you work hard enough. Yeah. Oh, lag. Eh, the editor always lags. It's weird like that. Plays smooth otherwise, though. Oh, I'm so glad that's fixed. I know it's such a stupid, simple thing, but it's been bugging me for so long. It's so nice to see it fixed. Like, it's disproportionately pleasing. It seems like such a dumb thing, but to see a glitch that you have to see every day for several months on end, and it's finally fixed, it's just so nice. Yeah, I am. I'm buzzing on it, man. See, I've been getting all this kind of dopamine hit. I'm getting it over and over because I'm fixing a lot of glitches now. So everything's like getting all like crazy. It's all like, yeah, we got it. We fixed like so many glitches, and each one feels so cathartic. It's a good time to be in development when things are coming together. That's the shit you live for, man, as a developer. At least for me, that's the moments that I live for in development. When we're at the point where we're just banging out these fucking bugs, just squashing them left and right, and then you see this giant progress of shit that you've seen broken for months just get completely fixed. And everything is looking good, everything's coming together, and the polish is starting to show, and you're like, oh, it's good. Oh, it's good. That's the shit I live for. That's the good shit right there. That's my drug, baby. Bug fix. Don't judge me. Fuck you. It's my life. I can live it any way I want. Just having Terry's animations fixed, where Terry's playable again, Dude, that was a huge fucking dopamine hit. I swear to God. That was a big one. Christmas spirit. Ah, July was last month. There's no Christmas in August. You're too late. It's just the fact that he works again and he doesn't have any fucking crazy bullshit that I have to avoid doing certain moves or he'll like walk up. Like, that's a good ass feeling. Oh, everything looks nice. And I updated some of the animations. Things are looking snappy. I'm loving it. I fixed all the super alignments, by the way, if you noticed. All the super activation effects are on the proper space now. They're not, like, attached to the floor and all bugged up. I fixed that. That one was bugging the shit out of me, too. Oh wow! That was fucking Monkey D. Luffy range. He just grabbed them from like another universe. It's because he stepped in. I stepped in with this. Wow, he grabbed them out of that. That's funny. That's funny. It looks so funny because he just like pulled them from another dimension. I have a feeling grabs are going to be pretty powerful in this game. But I did set out to make that a thing, so... Yeah, portal grab. I set Ken to grab so I could check, I could test him. Well that was a glitch here. The hit spark doesn't show up in the right place. Add it to the list. I wonder if Ken's does. Wait, so Ken's got the normal forward throw, right? Yeah, his does. So it's just Terry's is weird. Terry's forward throw hit spark is not in the proper position. And that's really just a graphic thing. It's not really it's not a gameplay issue. So I'm gonna give it low priority. And it was started today. So there we go. Alright. There we go. Broken animation. I gotta fix that. So right now they are attempting to load an animation during the update of another animation, so they get buggy like this. And I'm gonna create that system where it writes down, hey, you tried to do this animation during the animation update, so we're just gonna hold this information for you and then we're gonna play it the next frame. That should fix all of these little glitches with the animation. Like this, or like this one. That one's just weird. I'm not really sure why that one just completely fails. Ken's got a couple of them too. He's not too bad. But his Shinryuken doesn't disappear, the effect off of it. It just stays, which is strange. And it actually follows you around, which is funny. So it's like he's got like a... It's like he's got like a giant laser sight from like an orbital, like, satellite cannon beaming down on him. You can't escape, Ken. Like, they found you. You can't escape. They got a lock on you. Doesn't it look like something like that? Just some fucking orbital sniper unit. They found him, they're not letting them go. That's so funny. And it'll create new ones each time. See, it doesn't flicker anymore because there's multiple ones in the same spot. Time to pull a space Shoryu. It's so weird, but whatever. We'll fix it. We'll get there. If you reset it, they go away. They despawn. So, whatever, man. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm really tired now. And we fixed the thing I was angry about, so I'm happy now. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. Our schedule, well, my schedule. Thursday Retro Mansion game, we're gonna program a camera system. I've been waiting to dig deep into this. I've done one in the past, but I want to take everything I've learned and like make a really good one. So I'm looking forward to that on Thursday. And by camera system, I mean like in a platforming game, like you don't want the camera to go far, like it's got to stop at the edge of the screen and stuff, right? That's what I need to do. I need to make it so that it follows that kind of track. And then you can go from room to room, and the camera should switch to each camera zone and stuff like that. So that's the thing we're going to be working on Thursday. And then on Sunday, we'll finally finish Dark Souls. I've been told that we're actually at the end now. So that'll be the finale for that. Assuming I'm, get through the whole thing, which I should be able to. And then Monday, again, we're back with Pack Fighter EX, and so we've created a loop. And another week has gone by, and oh my god, August is half over, and I'm having like a anxiety-driven panic attack about that. It's going way too fast. It's killing me. But yeah, anyway. So this stream is patron funded. So if you want to support my personal efforts in game development, you can check out the Patreon link down below or in the chat. And I've got names to read out of my generous patrons. We got Alex Smith, Mugen, It's Chump, David Leonard, Garen Johnson, Cameron Lyle, Very Next, Wakened Emperor, Angel, Mike Cruz, Taryn Williams, Bryson Uglingum, AJ, Alex D, Grave Spirit, Mega Keo, Miles Griffin, Ben K, D-Money107, and LD Walker. Thank you guys super very much. You can get prototype builds of the stuff that I work on, so you can see it in all of its buggy, messed up glory. But you get to be there first, so that counts for something. And that kind of stuff. So if that's interesting, check that out. We also got Discord, link in chat, link down below, and I'm on Twitter for whatever reason. At Mark Lewis. No, actually, I kind of like Twitter. Twitter's alright. Twitter treats me well, so right now I'm a fan of Twitter. So I'm pretty active on there, so if you follow me on there, you get all the updates. And that's pretty much it. So thanks everybody for hanging out and watching, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. So everybody have a good one and scrub out.